What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Drippy back again with another Terraria video. This is gonna be kind of awkward because I already uploaded episode 1 of my Mastermode 1.4.5 playthrough, but I transitioned from PlayStation to PC, so I had to start all over again. The start was kind of rough, but I ended up getting a few things together. This intro is made after I recorded episode 1 and 2, so those are going to be voiced over, but starting episode 3, we're going to have live commentary for you guys. If you do enjoy this kind of stuff and you want to see more, hit that like button, and if you want to stay tuned with whatever I upload, hit that subscribe button and that noti bell so y'all don't ever miss another notification. Without further ado, I hope y'all enjoy this video and enjoy this series as much as I do. Peace. What's good, YouTube? It's Drippy. So here I am creating my character. I realized that at the end of my recording session that my audio did not capture any of my voice. So here I am. I'm going to be voicing over this whole episode. And right now I'm just creating my character, trying to find a hairstyle that I really liked. But if I'm being honest, it didn't really matter towards the end because I'm gonna have armor anyways, unless I buy this vanity set that allows me to show my actual skin on the outside of my armor. Alright, so I found the one that I liked, and I think I wanted to just go with white hair and some. I don't know what color I would say that is. But if I'm being honest, I did not like this outfit style, so I ended up changing it to a robe. And here I am just customizing the color of my clothes, and then I would be in game ready to start. Okay, Drippy is now created, and now it is time to make our world. Alright, I am pretty sure I chose Drippy's domain for my world name, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yeah, so I had a few ideas. They were all kind of dumb. Or not really dumb, but it just didn't really make sense, to be honest. So I ended up just working on every other aspect, and I would come back to the title later. Okay, now I think I chose Drippy's domain. Okay, I'm pretty sure I had to go do something between that cut, so I finally put the world name in, and here I am loading the world. I did end up cutting it just so we got into the world faster, so it's not as boring for you guys. Now, I first spawned in and I decided just to start hitting a bunch of trees, and there was a golden bird that just flew out the tree that I hit. First one. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to capture it because I don't have any net. I do have to get used to the controls for PC because it's just little miscellaneous differences from console. I ended up getting an acorn slingshot. I've never used it before, and as the name implies, it shoots acorns. But the acorns plant whenever they are done bouncing around. So I ended up shooting a few just so it could replant some trees. Now, my first and main objective is to build a home and obtain life crystals and obtain more ores in order to make better tools and better gear. So I ended up venturing to the left and found my first cave that I just dove straight into. But I had to change some of my controls. Heading down, I'm just breaking a few bases that I find. I found my first chest. It didn't have too much. Just had a spear that I'm just gonna end up selling later. And I also decided that I needed to get some stone so I can make a furnace and so I can make some stone walls later on. Now, I am passing up on the iron right now because I do just want to find better ores. So I'll eventually collect it. I don't really use iron for anything besides making the first anvil if I can't find one in an abandoned house. Or I just collect it so I can get iron skin potions later on, which improve your defense by 8. And I ended up finding some silver ore here. It's not too much, so it's not enough to make anything useful, but it will be useful to have it. And there goes my first death. So I forgot about traps, and I did not see any pressure plate or any dynamite, and I ended up blowing up. So, in order to make up for it, I started going towards the right. I am hitting every tree just in case it drops something, like a pet that I can equip, tool, golden critters, anything. Same process here, just breaking bases as long as I go. And I came upon my first abandoned home. It didn't have much. I'm pretty sure it was just a magic mirror, hunter potion, some silver bars. The silver bars will come in handy later. And I've ended up finding this rainbow boulder. It was interesting because I've never seen anything like it. So I ended up digging down to it. I think it's pretty cool because it ended up lighting up the way. Showed me that there was more to the cave that I was in. And it ended up one-shotting that jellyfish and everything that it came upon its path. Now, the crow's beak is a vanity item that changed the way you sound whenever you take damage. And the shark bait summons that shark pup in that little bubble that you see following me around. It does nothing besides give aesthetic. It's just a pet. And shortly after I found my first life crystal. And not too long after that, I found some platinum ore, which again will come in handy later. Alright, I ended up jumping down here, and after I covered up that hole so that bug doesn't come out and attack me, I ended up finding some iron. Like I mentioned earlier, the iron is really useful, just really to make a iron skin potion, which again increases your defense by 8. It's so useful with boss fights or anything that requires you to endure a lot of damage. And after I mined all that up, I found that there was platinum right under it. After mining that up, I decided to head home. I don't really have a home, so I decided to head to spawn, where I will first craft my beginner home. In reality, I'm just making this base so that the guide has a place to stay so he doesn't die off the rip. As you can see, there's already a demon eye, and a zombie's already creeping up on the right side of the screen. They will start swarming in a little bit. In order to make a living space livable, you need a light source, a chair, and a table. It doesn't matter if it's a crafting table or if it's a big wooden table. And it also requires background placed by the player. And a door, of course, and some walls and a roof. But as long as you have the basics, you can design it however you want to. I'm pretty sure his name's Kevin. And I'm also trying to find a perfect time to place these doors in without anyone or anything walking in that isn't welcome. Now the guide ended up surviving on 1 HP, but he decided to try to run back and be the hero. And I decided to make myself a bow so I can start clearing out these enemies. And I ended up dying to a zombie just walking right through. We ended up killing the zombie, and I was able to finally put a door in. After clearing out the last zombie, I was able to finally put the door, and I ended up forgetting I had a life crystal that I could use. I don't know why I'm not putting the door yet, if I'm being completely honest. I have the best opportunity to. ores into bars. I ended up with 22 platinum, 4 silver, and 10 iron. I made the 10 iron so I can craft my anvil in order to make other tools so I can progress into the game. I decided to make a silver pickaxe since it's one off the platinum, and I wouldn't need that much to get the next level of progression. I was looking at what else I could craft, but nothing really seemed of value at the moment. And I AFK'd, waited for night to end, and once that ended, I ended up adding to my homes in hopes that the merchant would move in because I do have a gold coin and I would like to get a piggy bank so I can start storing my money, and I would like to get a mining helmet so I don't have to continuously use torches while down in the caves. Alright guys, so I know it wasn't much. I just ended up making another room, like I said, in hopes for the merchant to spawn in, and I ended up putting a chest just so I can start storing some of my items. I made a silver broadsword with the extra silver I had just so I can do more damage. And just like that, Alfred the Merchant has arrived. Now, instead of building more homes, I decided to head right back to the caves because I am in desperate need of health. I need to increase my life so I have a better chance of taking on these bosses later on. Now, I haven't been in this cave since I got blown up, and Lisa the nurse has arrived. In this new update, the NPCs will arrive once you have, I believe, reached their requirement. But if they do not have a place to stay or like a room for themselves, they will just disappear by the time night comes. I ended up seeing this gold bag, or like this bag full of gold coins, and I wanted to get it, and it ended up giving me 7. So I decided to go back home just so I can go ahead and buy a few things from Alfred. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Alfred sells copper pickaxe, copper axe, lesser mana potions, lesser healing potions, torches, rope, mining helmet, piggy bank, anvil, drum set. As you can see, I wanted to buy the piggy bank immediately just so I can stop losing coins, and it's easier for me to store since I can quick stack them. And I put on the mining helmet because not only does it provide light, it gives me some sort of defense since I don't have any armor yet. I'm keeping hold of the amethyst because I want to get a gem hook later on, which is just a grappling hook that allows me to traverse a little better. So we're heading back into the caves in hopes to find enough gems to make the gem hook and enough ores to get armor. And I ended up grabbing a chest because it's kind of expensive making them. It's not very. ended up finding my way back to where I found the old twins at, and I decided to continue forward, continue deeper into the caves. I ended up finding some blink root, which will come in handy later, and another life crystal, and some more amethyst. You need 15 in order to make a gem hook, and it left me at 11. I ended up finding another abandoned house as well, but I heard a whole bunch of animals, or not animals, sorry, a whole bunch of hostile mobs while I was down here, so I ended up boxing myself in. Found some Hermes boots to increase my movement speed. There's a life crystal down there, but it is guarded. It's guarded by a black slime and a skeleton. I decided to kill them from afar, but the skeleton had other motives, and he decided to jump up there. But thanks to these little holes in the floor, I was able to shoot them through the. After taking out the skeleton, I decided that I could just trap the black slime in there. This gives me enough time so I can get this life crystal and continue moving on. Now I knew that eventually that the slime will find its way under that block I placed, and here it comes. Digging this way, I ended up finding that there's more to a cave, and there's silver ore just hanging around. After collecting silver, I decided to see if the cave continued down some more. But all I could find was just little pots of water. While I was getting the silver ore, I was rudely interrupted by a giant worm. Now, after realizing that there was really nothing left for me to do, or there was nothing left waiting for me over that way, I decided to go back up in hopes that I can find another route that will lead me either further down or will connect me to some more other spot. Looking at this map now, I have not explored much. I decided to teleport home and remove a few saplings so I can continue making more homes, so I can get the nurse to move in and eventually some more NPCs. Unfortunately, I did not make the home in time, so the nurse ended up leaving. So instead of creating the house, I ended up just blocking it off for now. Not too long after finishing up this little room, an unexpected event decided to happen once it fully became night. And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of scared me once it happened because I was not expecting it. A blood moon. Now, blood moons can be very dangerous to your NPCs because during blood moons, zombies and blood crawlers are able to open doors. So if you're not securing your doors properly, you can say goodbye to your NPCs until they can move back in. Now, thankfully, once an NPC dies or moves out or runs away because it ran out of health or it got too scared or whatever the case may be, they will eventually move back in. You don't have to, like, there's no other requirement for you to have in order to reobtain those NPCs unless, or besides just having a free room. I decided to hit the stairs again in hopes to find a path, maybe something that I skipped while I was heading down the first couple times, maybe a path that I haven't seen. Now I came back to the second house that I ended up finding because I remembered that while I was mining down there, that there was a whole bunch of little cave pockets if I was to dig down. But I ended up grabbing all that silver and iron that was up here, so I didn't grab any, or I didn't explore further. I'm using bombs in order to continue my little mine down because I don't want to end up drowning down there. While draining the water, I ended up finding out that there was a life crystal just sitting right next to me. I also found out that there was some platinum just chilling there. I got greeted by an unexpected guest, a giant worm for the second time. Now, I was struggling to get out because I didn't want to drown while I was down there, and I also didn't want them killing me. But thankfully, I have a decent sword, so it did its work. I ended up not dying, taking it out, and I continued to explore for some more. Going up there, I found some silver, so I threw a sticky bomb just so it would speed up my process. And as a result, I also found this other abandoned building. I believe this is my third one. It didn't have anything special in it besides a flare gun, but I don't use it, so I'm gonna end up selling it. I also found a vein of topaz ore, which also gave me enough for a hook. After coming back up, collecting all those resources, I decided to make a topaz hook instead of an amethyst one, for it has better benefits. Now, for the specific benefits, I couldn't tell you, but with a good little quick search of which one would be better on the Terraria wiki, it told me that the topaz one is far more efficient. So I ended up selling all the nonsense that I didn't need anymore. I ended up smelting all my ores into bars so I can continue upgrading my arsenal. Finally crafting a platinum pickaxe, which is far better than the silver one. It allows me to mine meteorite, which meteorite will be a little useful later on. While I was crafting my armor, or thinking about crafting my armor and everything, I decided that the class that I'm going to be playing as is just going to be a basic melee. Yes, I'm going to be using a few other class weapons here and there, like something from mage, something from summoner, and something from ranger. But overall, I'm going to stick to melee, for it has a whole bunch of defense benefits. I believe it has the highest defense count. You can get up to like 100 and something. I just think it's far more beneficial as a solo player in a master mode playthrough. Now, don't get me wrong, playing as summoner and ranger and mage is pretty fun, but for my first time around, I think I'm gonna play melee. For another playthrough, I'll choose something else. While I came back, I found some more ore. I found some silver in this deposit in a spot that I died earlier, and I found a whole bunch more silver, but I realized that there's explosives hooked up to it. So instead of just mining all of it, I ended up placing a silver piece back and connected up the explosives just so I can blow all of it up, save some time. There would still be a decent amount for me to mine up. While continuing my search for loot, I ended up stumbling upon another broken house. If I'm not mistaken, this makes number 4. Now, I grabbed the keg. It didn't have anything really useful in it besides another magic mirror, which I'm going to end up selling later on. I grabbed the anvil as well. It serves no purpose for me, to be honest, but it'll never hurt if I'm making more aesthetics later on, or if I'm making more bases in different biomes. I realized that there was a bunch of silver ore I was standing on, so I decided to just mine it all up. And hopefully soon I can make some armor, because I've been running around this whole playthrough with just a mining helmet on, putting myself through more struggle than I need to. And there's another home. And the dye trader has also arrived. There was some climbing shoe or some climbing shoes in there, or shoe spikes. I don't remember what it was, but that was in there, so that allows me to slide down walls. After looting up the house, I decided to keep going further down as the cave kept on expanding, but I will come to shortly or come to realize soon that there wasn't that much left to offer. After realizing that there wasn't really much for me to explore, I missed my grapple, fell, healed up, and decided to teleport home. Now, after teleporting home, I deposited a few things and I went to the merchant so I can go ahead and sell some items that I no longer needed. After I was done selling my items, I ended up smelting down all my ores and I settled on making the silver armor set. Now, the silver armor set gives you a bonus 3 defense if you have all the silver pieces on. I ended up taking off the mining helmet so I could look at the armor set itself. I was kind of excited because, like I said earlier, I was going the whole playthrough with no armor, and having this will be a big change. With this, I believe I'll be able to beat my first boss, but before I do that, I would like to get some more health and some more mana stars. So, after I was done crafting my armor and my extra tools, I ended up going back to the caves and did a whole bunch of boring stuff. Just started mining and tried collecting as much money as I could. So I'm gonna cut the video there, guys. I appreciate you guys for sticking around this long. If you made it to the end, please hit that like button. It really shows me your support. And if y'all really enjoy this and want to stick around for more content, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't hurt. But if y'all don't want to, that's completely fine. It's up to you. I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace.